Okay, so now that we got the big reason that the girls were here to begin with, they had their kicks, but now they're a little tired, so we just go ahead and put them to bed while the boys go off gambling in Sunset Boulevard.
Which I was mistaken. It is not from. It is not from Forces. This is just its own original city.
Which is
Playing
weird,
SA2 is
because I
habit
feel like I've
forming.
heard of a Sonic level called Sunset Boulevard before.
But
I feel like. Let me Google it actually. Sonic the Hedgehog Sunset.
I was about to say, like, I'm half right about the casino thing. Look in the background. Playing SA2 is habit forming.
Son of a bitch. And look, we brought back the pink bot.
Oh, okay. And yeah, so my bad. It was called Sunset Heights in Sonic Forces,
Gotcha.
and Sunset Hill in Sonic Advance 3.
Actually, now let's stop and think about it. Sunset Bowl. Kind of a stretch, but now that I look at this area, it kind of it's giving me some slight Jet Set Radio vibes.
There's a lot of Sunset. Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, no, there's a lot of Sunset stuff. There's Sunset Park Zone in Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble.
There's Sunset Hill in Sonic Advance 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we just brought up.
No worries. There's that one. Then there's. I think that's it. I don't. Did we ever do Triple Trouble?
Not officially.
Nope. Honestly, we haven't really touched much of the Game Gear stuff beyond Tails Sky Patrol, and I feel like there might have been one or two others we covered, but they're not coming to mind at the moment.
Yeah.
No worries.
Maybe at some point. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to showing them off at some point or another. It's just we got other stuff to prioritize at the moment.
Speaking of Triple Trouble, I'm kind of surprised that neither of you decided to show off for the Sage Showcase that one, the fan remake of Triple Trouble that was on display there.
I was tempted, but I honestly didn't want my video to go on too long, so I just decided on what I did. Though honestly, if I knew that Logan's video was going to be longer than mine by a long time, then I probably would have. But
I'm so sorry, but yeah, hey,
it's
Chad.
fine. I'll say a shout out.
Courageous live with Eggman?
Excuse me?
What are you saying?
Sonic really hates Shadow in this.
Yeah, it's like they're really reinforcing those darn mandates. I kid, this is a fan game.
I'm kind of convinced, like, from what little I've been catching up on with Sonic's dialogue, he's kind of a dick in this.
Well, you know what? There are some people.
He's his normal amount of arrogance.
I was about to say, you know what? Look, depending on who you are, that might be a good thing because there are people that do kind of prefer him to be kind of a dick. I mean, you know how he is in the OVA.
Shut up, Tess!
Fair enough, I guess. I mean, he wasn't that obnoxious about it in the OVA. I remember how bad it got with what was it, the Fleetway comics.
Yeah. Well, I also remember in the OVA there was a point where they were outright begging Sonic to save the world, and he was all like, I don't feel like it.
Right. I remember that. That was the only time I ever felt it was really obnoxious. Was just like how apathetic he was towards it. Like everybody, even the love interest, tried to like convince him. But okay, granted, I'll admit it wasn't to clarify, Hype. It wasn't. I just remembered. It wasn't him getting upset. It wasn't him that he didn't want to save the world. It was he did not want to work with Eggman or trust Eggman.
Right. I mean, to be fair, he was right to be skeptical about that whole plot.
Right.
And to be fair, his suspicions were proven to be correct.
Yeah. So let's get to Sunset Boulevard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good thing we talked over that because I remember that was kind of a thing with this version of GT for a while. Is that like up until a recent version, the cutscenes were technically unskippable.
Ooh.
Yes, but I did download the version that lets me skip cutscenes, but I wanted to show them for the sake of plot. Look, Chow in Space 2.
Oh boy.
Do you think they're actually going to make a Chow in Space 2 animation?
That'd be great. Though now that I look at this place some more, I mean, they call it Sunset Boulevard, but this literally does look like it's almost look exactly like Studiopolis.
Maybe.
Actually, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was an inspiration.
Nice. It's that, and you'll hear later, we're also coming across those police cars. What was that stage in SA2 called, or SA1?
Speed Highway?
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it does kind of remind me of Speed Highway with the police cars chasing us.
So yeah, this stage is essentially Speed Highway meets Studiopolis.
Actually, I also see bits of what was Shadow's stage in SA2 where he was running
Radical Highway?
Radical Highway, yeah.
Yeah. I can see that a little bit too. I'm sure it was inspiration. I'm sure both were inspirations for the stage.
Basically, every single city level known to Sonic kind.
Except for the ones from Unleashed.
We know what we like and we know what we do.
We know what we like, except for the times when we don't know what we like, which for the Sonic fan base is a very often majority.
But yeah. Oh hey, look at that.
Sonic Fan Games HQ.
Excuse me. So yeah, no. So we are actually getting up to like the penultimate stage, and again, there are many secrets that can be found. I actually don't know what those secrets are because I did not go out of my way to find them. I know that they are used to unlock, I think, Shadow to play in time trial mode. Oh, with that, I'll be right back. But Hype, continue to tell James any other trivia you know.
Well, let me see. Like he said, there is a time trial mode. There's also races that you can do against other characters. Like, I think either racing Eggman in his Eggmobile and Tails in his mech. You know, kind of like that one mission in Generations where you're modern Sonic and you're racing Tails in the tornado.
Well, already with that whole being able to race...
No, I was saying, oh yeah? I was just, inquisitive.
Okay. But I was about to say, like, yeah, the whole thing about Tails racing him in race, and then there's the whole thing with Eggman. Like, that's... Immediately makes me think back to Speed Highway, where Tails had to race him. Was like, you think you could keep up with me? He caught up.
Yeah, and then it turned out to
Tails,
be
wait for me! It was a dud.
Yeah, and then you fight the big, what was it? The giant spider mech.
The
Egg Walker.
Which ironically, funnily enough, is the name of the mech walker he uses in SA2.
Huh.
I mean,
right.
similar naming scheme. It might have also just been a newer type, which was a little more portable.
I am also glad that I downloaded the update because before the update, this boss was a little bit more of a pain. They made it very tricky to homing attack target, and they gave it a lot of health. But fortunately, in the update that I'm downloading, that I had downloaded, they dialed back a bit on its health and made it a little bit easier to attack.
You know,
it's some egg. So in the context of the plot, this is the jammer that we're trying to destroy here, so that so that Shadow's employers, who I assume is Gun,
as always,
can do their business as they normally can, and it will allow Tails to better properly triangulate that signal we found in Hilltop Zone to figure out where Ray's being kept. Keep running.
You know, something I also noticed is that, like, and with the exception of the final boss of this version, all the bosses are kind of like you translate seamlessly into them instead of like having like a cutscene separating them and whatnot.
Yeah, that did kind of throw me off a little bit with the first boss and now this one.
Isn't that how it happened in Sonic? Isn't that how it worked in Sonic 3 though as well, or Sonic Advance and Sonic stuff? Was
Well, pretty much all the
stage and then suddenly boss.
Well, pretty much all the 2D games, honestly.
All with the exception of, like you said, Advance 2. I think that's like the one exception. Well, no. There's that. There was Sonic Rush. I think, actually, yeah, the Rush games in general, I think usually have like some sort of transition. But everywhere else, it pretty much was seamless. But that's something you don't really see with the 3D games as much.
Crap. That's the reason why I wanted my electric shield, because that electric shield made me, invulnerable to lightning. Now I actually have to be very careful. If there was one thing that I would love this fan game to have is, I think... almost dead.
There you are.
Once again, though, there's one thing that I could ask them. Just, I know Shadow the Hedgehog is not a game many look up to, but I still like the idea that introduced the concept of if I get hit, I don't lose all my rings right away.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's like any other Sonic game that does that.
Man,
I think Unleashed does.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Both versions? Because I don't remember that happening in the Wii version.
What now?
I'll have to look that up.
Fix this antenna and bingo!
You got it. You won the charity. I don't know what I'm talking about. This will be fun.
Oh.
A desert?
It's a desert. And yes, it's another pyramid base. He just loves them.
Never mind. Let's make hay.
All the pyramids with the rockets in them.
I have a motif.
I have one. The insurance. The contractors only allow me to near the hidden base. Yay.
Jeez, I guess some old habits really do die hard. In fact, I think this might be the same one from Adventure 2.
I would love the idea if it was like he doesn't even do it just based on convenience. He just really likes pyramids. He's like, I know it's an extra 4 miles out of the way, but just look at the real estate.
It looks so cool. It's like, it looks so cool.
It's just, Doctor, it's just a whole bunch of sand.
Just a...
Ow.
He slaps Orbot. Yeah, the Sass bot or whatever it was called.
Orbot, yeah.
But I love the idea of like him being like, what's the point of a hidden base if it doesn't look cool? The fact that nobody's supposed to know what it looks like at all.
You're not fun.
It's hidden base, but no, it's... Yeah. This is the last stage of the demo, and Once again, I think it runs fairly well. I only got turned around at one point just because some of these areas get a little bit samey, but this is I think that's how I think this Sonic game has done a really good job of this level design. In this game, when you do really well in these levels, it feels cool to like go fast and like be pulling things off.
Yeah, I mean, I will give it that much. It does feel like one of those games where it's kind of like almost like a power fantasy in the way, just with how much airtime you can get out of out of the ramps and the momentum and whatnot.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, I'm not sure if a 3D Sonic games need to have this kind of freedom, because, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, maybe it's just my experience with Project Hero talking, but I always still figured, like, when it comes to 3D Sonic, that's, like, the perfect way to handle it. But I'll give this one the credit, and, like, even if it does feel a little overtuned, it does still look fun.
Oh, actually, I guess while we go to this level, I'm actually curious to get your opinion on that, James. Did you hear about the recent announcement that IDW made with Sonic?
No. What did they announce?
They're doing a classic Sonic miniseries.
Oh, cool.
I doubt it's gonna try to actually, continue where Mega Drive left off. But I mean, to have some sort of spiritual successor would be fun.
It really does bum me the hell out. That whole miniseries got canned just as Archie gave up their whole license with Sonic, or had to for whatever reason.
And again, I mentioned it before, but it is kind of a shame because like they were giving that up right around the time that the base comic was reaching 300 issues.
Seriously.
So it is one of those moments where you almost wish IDW could have done what Marvel did with... Oops. I shouldn't have done that. I lost all my momentum.
Jeez.
I'm just going to go back and I'll get some momentum with another homing attack. And there we go. You almost wish that they could have done something where IDW maybe did what Marvel did for Spider-Man when Disney and Sony fell out. Where, like, you almost wish that they could have given them at least, like, one proper sending off before the torch was fully passed.
Right.
Although, like... Yeah. Like, honestly, I feel like if they did give IDW that freedom of finishing Mega Drive, there's bound to be, like, that one portion of the Archie fanbase that's like, they'll let you... Well, I was about to say, the one portion of the Archie fanbase, they're like, you'll let them finish Mega Drive, but you won't let them bring back Sally?
Wait, is that actually... is IDW prevented from bringing back Sally?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. IDW is not... I don't know if it's like a matter of prevention or if they just don't want to or feel like it, but IDW is not allowed to recycle any characters from the Archie series.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a mandate by Sega, considering the fact that, well, they were already kind of peeved with how Archie handled the Sonic Sonic comics for certain reasons.
And honestly,
like, things a lot.
And honestly, like, something that I remember Danny 8-Bit brought up is the fact of, like, as nice as they were, like, considering how large the game cast is right now, having the Freedom Fighters there would just be kind of redundant in the sense of, like, we already have Tails, who's kind of the tech genius, the one that make Rotor, like, redundant.
I'm sorry, real quick, I noticed we passed by it. Of course it wouldn't be an Eggman base without a statue of the portly fuck.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a hidden base. But what's the point of having a base if nobody knows who owns the place? It's...
But, whoa,
wow, Doctor, you rhymed!
Excuse me?
And I was about to say, like, yeah, he was bringing up the point about, like, we have Tails, who's a tech genius, that would make Rotor redundant. We have, like, Knuckles, who's a powerhouse, that would kind of make Bunny redundant. And it's also just a matter of, like, people complain about, like, how mishandled, like, the characters are in the games right now. You really trust them to do any better with the Archie characters?
Woohoo! There we go. Finally, in all of the Sage Expo, this is now officially my favorite game. Finally got it.
Hooray!
Finally arrived. Took you long enough.
Sorry, it was been like 40. Hey, I feel like that should have been like... I
understand that the machine probably looks bigger than this, but just seeing it paired up with that character's full-on rigs, it's like, wow, I'm pretty sure shrunk.
Help me.
But yeah,
I'm so malnourished.
But yeah, basically, yeah, here's the thing. Like, the reason that he was baiting Mighty is that he actually wants to use his shell and analyze it to make, like, super durable badniks.
I mean, not the worst plan I can think of, considering the fact that Mighty's shell is durable enough to, prevent harm from spikes.
My most powerful
Granted, he can only do it, like, once per jump, but still.
hard-boiled egg tank.
The hard-boiled egg tank.
Testing time begins now.
Alright, fine.
Boss time.
This machine's skin is invulnerable.
So yes, it's supposedly supposedly empowered by Mighty's shell, which basically means it's gonna have this weird energy shield, which reminds me of Maximo actually. And I basically need to. I'm sorry, Hype. Your boss kind of stinks at times.
Hey!
I'll explain how the boss works. Is that it's more or less a waiting game. So every time you want to deal damage to it, you just have. Every time you want to deal damage to it, you need to wait for it to basically exhaust all its energy so that the shield powers down. And even though it powered down just then, it's not going to stay fully powered down until it's basically exhausted all of its attacks at least once. So it starts off with the machine guns, then the mortar strikes.
Get a load of this.
I see what they had to do.
Of course they
Yeah.
made you say
Oh,
that
boy.
line. That's like it's the one line that everyone loves.
Do that again.
It's
Yeah.
fun. But so basically wait until it does the machine guns, then the mortars, and then after the egg lasers has fired first once, then twice, and I think 3 times or something at the very end. And as you notice, the platforms in the center also
Sit still and let me punch you, hedgehog.
I will say this.
How can you punch anything with that mech?
Yeah, I'll say this is actually pretty fairly cheesed if you're good with if you're good with messing with physics like this, going up and down and up and down and up and down and nice.
Oh boy.
And just head into the center. Oh,
Dude.
just a couple more times. I think.
How
2
many
more
hits does this
and
boss
then
take anyway?
4, I think. If that last one was 2, so or maybe it's 5 because it's 1, then 2, then. Okay, so it takes 5 hits. I'll take more. It just takes 5 hits. So so 2 more hits, including the one I'm about to do, and then we're all done.
Yep.
You would think that after the shield's all down, that would give you an opportune moment to strike, but I guess all the heavy fire says otherwise.
Yeah, it's that, and that if I were to try and go in there now, it would just reform that, and the only place to attack this thing is hitting its afterburners, or the exhaust pipe or whatever, which, as you're noticing, the tank is going to be constantly rotating until after the egg laser phase. Then it'll stop and let me actually get behind it.
Gotcha. Oop. Yeah, just be careful about the green stuff.
Oh, like that.
He was not careful with the green stuff.
Oh, it looks like he knows how to lead his shots.
Okay.
You're not supposed to do that.
Last hit.
I think you meant to say, Hype, you know how to lead your shots.
Wow.
Whatever.
Man, he's just sitting there going like, let the mustache guy win. Just one time.
Look, Sonic. It's my birthday.
Actually.
Eggman, you're... Come on, Eggman. You know we both share the same birthday.
Oh, that is true.
Would
But I
you
love
really
the-
do this to me on my dang birthday?
I love the idea of, and don't worry, you can't actually fall here. They basically do that fan thingy.
Oh, okay, thank goodness.
Yeah, otherwise this would have been a little BS even for me. But just okay, the machine gun stuff. Okay, we got it. But no, I love the idea of him being like, Sonic, I need to pull you aside. He just pulls him aside, like no robots. Like, Sonic, this is kind of my special day, and this is kind of addicting. You're being a little bit of a party pooper. Just real talk.
Look,
Oh, shit.
just do me this one solid and kill yourself, please.
Come on, and one more hit.
Jeez, that's not tense at all.
It's a little close, and done.
Creation. This can't be possible.
It is, because we just did it.
No.
How about that
Yay.
voice crack I did?
It's impossible.
They kept it.
My creation.
My birthday!
Impossible.
Ruined!
You should know this by now.
Breakfast is ruined.
Always pale in comparison
Go
to the
home.
original.
Go home. I don't even want to talk to you.
Invincible as you
And I was promised
No way
eggs
you
and
possibly-
bacon.
shall.
I was promised eggs and bacon today.
Sonic speed. And in the end, you'll never be able to defeat us, even if you had my whole shell. Because as strong as it may be, it will never be stronger than our friendship.
You guys are idiots.
Impossible.
For our
I'll
word
use hypes there
to
instead, but
you.
I'll just it's.
Yeah. You guys weren't kidding about the smell thing.
He doesn't smell. I just imagine he
Pickled
just.
eggs and cucumber. Dude's convinced that's the scent of geniuses or something. It's super gross.
Why pickled eggs?
Eggman.
I mean, the cucumber would make sense. I mean, the cucumber thing would explain. Oh yeah, he's getting away.
Yeah.
I guess the cucumber thing would explain why he had them on hand to feed Professor Pickle with.
Kick his ass.
Is that
Sonic!
Sonic?
Language! Oh, come on, it's a fan game.
Hey,
So I guess they are going to just go all out with it then, I guess. Even though I guess, again, Ass is kind of one of the smaller of the...
Yeah, it just feels...
they leave Mighty
Metal
there.
Sonic.
Well, not Mighty Ray. Ooh.
And he died the end. But
Wow.
it's also just a plot twist of like, or plot cliffhanger. And I mean, yeah, I'll be honest. I'll come out and say that if they do at some point in the future produce a full thing, I wouldn't mind looking at it. So yeah, that was Sonic
Thank
GT.
you, Gabe.
You pretty much already heard me gush about how I enjoyed it. What did you think of it, James?
I mean, it looked fun. I mean, I'll just be perfectly honest, though. Like, it is nice to... It is, what am I trying to say here? It is kind of nice when, you know, you're given the chance to, you know, strut your stuff and get other people to actually voice these characters. I mean, if you really feel like it. At the same time, though, it's... No, I'm just done. I'm just gonna cut right to the chase. I don't think I don't think much of the voice acting was that great, aside from hypes, obviously.
It's a project. I mean, like, again, like... I mean, I can't. I'm not going to ask it to be on par with the actual Sonic Team produced stuff, but
It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things you can't really get out of your head once you actually start hearing it. Like, I mean, that's really all I can say about it, though. That's just a me thing more than anything. I mean, for what it's worth, these guys seem to be doing all right.
Hmm.
But if I were to be given the choice, I would have just stuck to, you know, the usual cast,
oh, and
or
just, like,
just
use,
regular,
like,
or just, you know,
archive
regular
clips.
clips, you know, all that jazz.
I could see them doing that. Hype. Did you? What were your thoughts on it?
Well, at first I was a little bit like, you know, as much as I was like honored that someone wanted me to voice in their fan game, I was a little bit skeptical because I remember like back in like the early releases. Excuse me?
You said spectacle, not skeptical. I was like, that dang word today. It's that darn coffee.
Anyway, because I remember like earlier versions of Sonic GT weren't that well received because like this was back when they had like the more up to standard level design that they have and whatnot, and I guess like a few like engine issues. So because of people's like talking about how they weren't too fond of the last version, I was a little bit unsure, but I was still willing to go through it because you know me voice, like, it's not too often someone asks me to voice for a fan game, and I did genuinely have fun recording my lines for it. But once I saw like how different it was compared to the other version, like it really is night and day between the two versions. And I will say right now, again, thank you again, Gabriel, for letting me be a part of this. I'm glad a lot of people have been enjoying GET so far. Like I've been seeing like a lot of like kind words from everyone that's been playing it so far, and it like. Again, it really means a lot to him and to me that you guys have been enjoying it so much, and yeah, it's a pretty good fan game.
I will definitely say, I noticed earlier there was also a special thanks to Heroes, so I guess they took some inspiration from his project for the sake of this.
Oh, I want to say earlier in the credits it says that Hero's actually on the story team.
Oh, he is? Cool.
Yes, I guess he is helping him out with this project, but yeah.
Now, use the radar to collect everything.
Yes, to unlock Shadow and other players in team. And honestly, I may go back and give that a look-see. Because, yeah, that's about where the demo ends. And, again, I had a lot of fun with it. Thank you, guys. And that, I think, about wraps up all of our Sage stuff.
Whew, yeah. 5 videos is plenty.
Good. It's gonna get bigger and bigger. You know this. Like they're gonna keep. It's gonna draw a lot more talent and a lot more projects to the expo.
And a lot more website stability issues.
Well, honestly, like that, like you say that, and you're right. Honestly, it just working on this and seeing like, because that's another thing I love about this year's Sage. Like, not even just me helping with GT, like a lot of my voice actor friends have been helping out with a lot of stuff. Like Virtuous Sonic, that Sonic VR, that actually has 3 of my friends involved in it. Like Landy is Sonic, Sky is Tails, Zach is Eggman. It's like I love that like more people I know, and even to an extent myself, are being more involved in Sage this year. And I really hope that grows for next year and get like more people within our community some much needed exposure and whatnot.
Make a Tango Whisper game, maybe. But anyway, but that said, that about wraps it up. Thank you guys for watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and I guess if all things go well, see you next year.
Yep.
Now go outside.